Time for Jim's Mad Dash, of course, cross-country edition, as he's at the J.P. Morgan Healthcare Conference, which is a good opportunity for us to discuss in more detail this deal that we mentioned at the top of the program, Jim. J&J getting further into oncology. It's not a large deal dollar-wise. They do pay a huge premium for AM, 28 bucks, so over 100%. That's not a bad press release to wake up to if you actually own that stock.
No, it's not. And, David, one of the things that has really dogged J&J, obviously, is the talc possibilities that this is for cervical cancer, whether it is asbestos or not. This is nice to see something else from J&J. It's 16 times earnings, J&J. That's rather low versus a company that we know is doing a lot of good things. But, yes, David, once again, people want to fight. It's cancer. It's cancer. It's cancer. That's one of the things that, if you're not doing GLP-1, you're trying to solve cancer. And obviously, cardio and cancer are the two ways that people, that cause death. So this is one of those things where I do think that if you buy a clinical stage company, the market applauds it, David, even though I think you and I both know when you have a money loser like Ambrx, you can't talk about it being additive or it's dilutive the moment you buy it.
Yeah, and we should explain to people, and again, I mentioned these ADCs, targeting antibody drug conjugates. I think these guys are out of phase 2 trials already. But basically what this does for J&J, they say, is to help them design, develop, and commercialize targeted oncology therapeutics, Jim, using this new technology they're going to be acquiring here by targeting monoclonal antibodies securely linked to a potent chemotherapeutic payload to achieve targeted and efficient elimination of cancer cells without the prevalent side effects typically associated with chemotherapy.
Right. This is one of those things that Dr. Borla talks about at Pfizer. The idea, frankly, that this is going to replace chemotherapy because it causes less nausea. It's far more targeted. I mean, David, chemotherapy is nuclear, and it affects the whole body. If you can be targeted just to one part and don't cause the massive reaction that really does hurt and even kill people, it would be major. So we got to follow that technology. At the same time, it is clinical. We have not gotten that far on it. It is very early. I don't want to raise hope that this is going to work.
Right. But that is the key time often when these companies are purchased. There is some risk, but, of course, a lot of it perhaps mitigated by what are, successful phase 2 trials, for example, Jim.
Absolutely. And we want to watch this. And J&J has a really good cancer franchise. This adds to it. It is great to see a little news flow that is actually about saving people's lives.